This is my first video. Please send help. Hey guys, welcome to What Does Your Intrusive Thought Say About You? I mean, what does your painting music playlist say about you? By the way, the Inquisition is on its way. Now that I have your attention, hello fellow 40k pop fans. Did you know that Warhammer the hobby is like chaos? I am not talking about your pile of shame or the dire state of your hobby cabinet, or your mental state after taking a break in 9th edition and coming back into the present 10th edition, or God forbid like I did, coming back into the 8th from the 6th edition. Why is there a Primarch now? Because much like the realms of the Chaos Gods, Warhammer as a hobby is split into 4 parts. You have the lore, the collecting of the models, the hobbying, and of course, playing with your models on the tabletop. And here today, we're going to talk about the hobbying aspect.
By the way, I am intentionally playing the Danganronpa music in this mini section because this hobby will send you into financial despair.
Anyway, back to the subject. What kind of emotional essence do you impart behind every brushstroke? What would your models think about your tastes in music? But first, some housekeeping. This is meant to be a quick and simple test video to play around with editing and such for this channel, so this whole video is going to be rated goofy as fuck, and it's not meant to be taken seriously in any way. Just like my model painting skills. Tons of people have done this, so it should be simple, right? How hard can it be? Keeping that in mind, this video is for entertainment only. And if I offend anyone, then I did not mean it, and I definitely don't care. These are my personal opinions and observations, and any offense caused are accidental heresies. Opposed to deliberate heresies, which 95% of the time, it is. And just like Abaddon's Dark Crusade, content will keep coming. So if you like what you see here, then throw us a like and a sub. With all that serious stuff out of the way, let us start with something easy and relaxing. You just want to relax. You probably have to deal with stressful situations day to day, and painting your models is the one thing that you really look forward to at the end of the day. When you sit down to paint, you are committed to the moment. To this end, just like Valrek's Preferred Legion, you will have sufficiently fortified your painting desk with drinks and snacks. And when that happens, it will take an Iron Warrior to dig you out of it. The good news is that if left to your own devices, jazz listeners are one of the most productive people on this list. The bad news is that there's a good chance that you've accidentally sampled from the Forbidden Well that is your paint water more than once because you place your cups too close together. On a scale between this guy and that guy, rock enjoyers are at least a Raven Guard out of 10. Possibly a Salamander. Just do not ask them about last summer's barbecue party. Rock enjoyers are probably the most chill of the bunch. They're more likely to enjoy the setting for what it is considering 40k's early rock and roll aesthetics. I mean, look at this page from a 1987 Rogue Trader book depicting the stuff. Hang on, is that an Alfarius reference? How deep does this go? You guys are perfectly at home with the grungy grimdark setting and wish there was more of it. At the same time, you are chill enough to roll on with the time, so most of you are content and sticking around just to see what will happen next in the story. Maybe your reign will actually get together with Gilliman. The Emperor might get off the throne one day. Dawn might return. And I might CP reroll 1s into anything other than 1s. Just do not law check their custom Space Marine paint jobs and kit bashes. They will not appreciate that. Just like how the Mechanicus Blair base are dominated by actual scientists and engineers. I don't know why that is, and honestly, it is a bit concerning. Players who listen to Sabaton music love their history and historical references. You guys love the Imperial Guard, and especially a certain Imperial Guard regiment that are edgy, expensive to collect, whose models are a bit hard to get hold of the legit way, whose main identifiable feature on the battlefield are their breathing respirators. Obviously, I am talking about the Armageddon Steel Legion. I guess some of you like Krieg as well, but I don't really like to talk about them. That might be an entire podcast subject in the future. Lastly, you guys like to make it painfully clear to everyone else in the gaming room that you love Sabaton. Good for you, I guess. You don't give a fuck. And there is a good chance that you're subscribed to Dan Bull. There is a high chance that you're selling real crack to pay for your plastic crack addiction. Can you imagine 2 sketchy dudes in hoodies in a dark parking lot exchanging nondescript boxes and the cup rolls up? The cop tells you to put your hands up, and when he opens your trunk expecting hard drugs like meth or cocaine, he only finds boxes of Chaos War Dogs and 8 pounds. Which might as well go for drug money these days because these boxes are never in stock on the website. As for painting your models, what painting? Any painting that gets done that day is purely a side effect of whatever else you're doing at the time, and bare grey models or models prime black will be your curse for the entirety of this hobby. But who cares because your hands are shaky from being too hyped up all the time anyway, so it's for the best. You are intelligent. Unlike myself, who only realized halfway through making this video that I do not have any B-roll footage. As in the video that I'm currently making to test editing styles has no footage to edit with. I hope you guys enjoy this 10-minute long slideshow. In your mind, not only are you painting a model, but you're also painting a fantasy in your imagination with every brushstroke, and any vocals will pollute that immersion for you. You enjoy the pure things in life, and you enjoy Warhammer as a setting as a whole more than most of the personalities on this list, and you probably own several 40k physical books or ebooks. When discussing Warhammer, you prefer to discuss lore, and lore accuracy is very important to you. If you are not listening to instrumental music while painting, then in all likelihood you'll be listening to lore videos like Newton, for example. Playing the tabletop game is not your main pursuit in Warhammer as a hobby, and the lore is what you truly enjoy. The primary reason why you collect kits in the first place is because they are your favorite character in a certain book.
Stop saying dumbass things! You're not even making sense!
Hey people!
I always wanted to say that.
As a gamer, your training started young and it was arduous. Fueled by nutritious Doritos and carbonated cornstarch, only the strong survived. The weak are herded inside biotransference machines and turned into what we call normies, also called productive members of society. Your first experience with Warhammer was when your 8-year-old self came across the Warhammer store while you were on your way with your parents to pick up a copy of StarCraft Battle Chest, and it instantly mesmerized you. Should you have walked into the store, 2 things would have happened. 1, the store servitor pushed Space Marines onto you, even though CSM is clearly superior. And 2nd, your parents noticed the price tag and immediately extracted you from the store. By the way, this is an actual story that did happen to me. I was 8 and I wanted my CSM. However, the staff somehow convinced me that the contents of the CSM box were the same as the normal Space Marine box, so I naively followed his instruction. Imperial indoctrination started young. Though it did not stop me from painting them as the Black Legion. And for those who care enough to wonder how long ago that was, well, the box was only 20 New Zealand dollars back then. This was the time before GW started adjusting for annual inflation like 5 times a year. Some of you might have picked up that this entire segment has nothing to do with the actual topic of the video. Because yes, I am still mad almost 3 decades after. Back to the plot. Unfortunately, being an 8-year-old at the time meant the only paper you were stacking were school assignments and school detention slips. Years later, you are now a MLG Pro Gaming Champion and the long debuff called being broke has run its course. However, the experience from the Warhammer store visit remains lodged within your subconscious like a malignant scrap code hiding within an STC. Which is well and all until one fateful day you obtained a copy of Dawn of War 1 and before you know it, that scrap code has now assumed direct control over your entire finances. At the very least, you guys have some of the sickest color schemes for your armies, and as a whole, you guys are pretty easy to befriend, since it's very easy to spot a Halo-themed Imperial Guard army and strike up a conversation with the guy. Now, it would be very simple for me to insert a few weeb jokes here, then throw in some dank memes about the tile, and call it a day. However, my viewers have the IQ above that of an amoeba, and they deserve better than regurgitated tropes as entertainment. If J-pop is your go-to for your painting music, then you probably dabbled in Gunpla before 40k, and your first impression of GW's products was likely not very good. As in, you were immediately disappointed with GW's overall lack of packaging to the point where you start suspecting that maybe you may have had the misfortune to purchase a defect. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Compared to what you have been used to before, GW's boxes look like a box of physically manifested depression. Only then did you realize that you have been spoiled by Bandai's marketing team with their vibrant artworks, sprues that are individually sealed, color-coded, and numbered and arranged in such a way that it makes sense to the human mind, with instructions on the manuals that don't purposely try to mislead you. I am looking at you, Basilisk Manual. It has been 28 fucking years and it's still incorrect. What's more outrageous is that it's just a black and white print on a normal-ass non-glossy piece of A4 office paper. What in the warp is going on here? Much like Dark Souls where Ashes seeks of Embers, weeps too must fill the void in their souls by endlessly consuming product. It is because of this OCD urge to collect everything that J-pop enjoyers probably have the largest pile of shame out of any group mentioned here.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You are built differently. You have the will and focus of a meta chaser homing into a casual beginner at the gaming store. There is a job to be done and nothing will stop you from completing this mission. While the feeble-minded require music to paint, the only symphony you need is made from the rise and fall of your brush. And the only tempo you measure is the amount of models you paint in an hour. To you, having no music is the best music, and you are the elite 1% within this hobby without a giant pile of shame. However, you may also find emotional camaraderie with Perturabo, or alternatively,
feel reassured knowing that in the far future your descendants will be highly sought after by the Necrons and Imperium.
Wait a minute.
However, just because the room is silent, it does not mean that there are no other voices in your head. Schizophrenia is not funny, guys.
Hello, comrade here. Welcome to What Does Your Intrusive Thought Say About You?
Before the Inquisition arrives to firebomb my headblock for my heresies, I want to thank everyone for watching this video. Learning how to use DaVinci Resolve and editing this video took many months, but overall it was a very fun experience that I wish to continue. And before I go, I am looking for artists for custom artwork and thumbnails, so if you're interested, send me a DM with the title of this video as subject. Anyways, back to writing the script for my lore video. Oh, and